Hi guys and welcome back to a new video. In today's video I will be talking about patch 11.0.7 and I will go through all the new cosmetics and transmog items that we know so far we will be getting in this new patch. So some of these items will come from the Siren Isle, which is the new zone in patch 11.0.7. Others will be from the training post, also from Plunderstorm, and of course from the different holiday events that will happen during that period. So first, let's go through some of the new rewards you will be able to get during the Lunar Festival, which will take place in February 2025. So first, we have these new Transmog sets, which I think look really cool. They remind me a little bit of some of the different armor pieces from Mist of Pandaria, and I do really like the different color schemes. I think all of them are super cool, and I do love the details on all the different parts of the set. Everything is in 3D almost, and I do think it looks super cool. Especially I think the red one is by far my favorite one. So you will most likely be able to get some of them from the trading post, as you can see, and then probably some others will be available through the different vendors during the event. So after that, we have some new back pieces, and these are really good cosmetic items. So as you can see, these are these different fireworks. I do think they look super cool. And again, this is very unique, so I'm definitely happy to see Blizzard adding this type of cosmetics into the game. And so as you can see, we have these different tints right here. And again, we're not exactly sure how you will be able to get them, but most likely some of them will be from the trading post, and also they will be from the different vendors linked to the Lunar Festival events. After that, we also have a few weapons. So as you can see here, we have these different daggers, I believe, or maybe one-headed sword right here. Then we have these different one-headed maces. So these are really cool again. And I think these are super unique. So again, I'm really happy when Blizzard tries a little bit to do like things that are a bit more unique. So all of these, remember, are one-handed maces. Then we have these different held in offhand items. And again, I think these look super nice. So you have different colors here. You have like the blue version as well, the green version, and then the pink version, which I think again looks really cool. And then you also have some pole arms. So you have this one. You also have the blue version, the gold version a little bit, and then this purple and yellow version. So these ones are nothing too special. They remind me a lot again of some of the polearms we were able to get during Mist of Pandaria. But still, it's nice to have some nice weapons and nice rewards for this holiday event. Now let's move to the Love is in the Air event. So here we already got a lot of new transmogs and cosmetic items last year, and so obviously we're not getting as many as the Lunar Festival this time around, but we're still getting a few new items. So here, if you remember well, this is the previous set that we got last year, but as you can see, you can now have different type of shoulders for these different sets. So you have, for instance, these different ones right here, which will complement some of the different sets that are already in the game. And I do think these are pretty nice as well. I probably prefer the ones that we got with the set, but at least you can also hopefully use these with other transmog items. And then we also have these other ones right here. So all of these will be available again during the Love is in the Air event. And all these different items should be normally available through the training post mainly. As you can see right here, you will be able to buy them with tenders, but I'm sure that also some of them will be made available through other sources, probably linked to the Love is in the Air events. And finally, also we have these different mounts right here. If you want to learn a little bit more about all the new mounts we're getting in this patch, I would recommend you to go watch my other video where I went through all of them. And here you will really have the full list of all these different mounts. After that, we have some new Tinker / Clockwork Transmog items that will also be available during this patch, and I do think these look super nice. So for instance, we have these different Transmog sets right here. So you have this blue version, and here you can see again all the details. I think it looks super nice. So you have the blue version, you have this version, which is more orange. Then you have the light green one, and finally the purple one. So these different sets should be available, or at least some of them will be available again through the training post. but then probably some of them will also be available through other sources as always. Then we also have these new back pieces, which again I think looks pretty cool. So we have the blue one, the green one, the orange one, and then the other blue one. So these again I think are pretty nice, and overall if you are into this type of transmog styles and you like tinker and all the different mechanical transmogs, then that's going to be perfect for you. Then we also have some weapons. So here these are a few of the different guns that you will be able to get, and I think these ones are pretty okay. And then these are really interesting ones. So this is, and I believe this is a two-handed mace, and these are supposed to be metal detector, I'm pretty sure, and these are massive. These are really, really nice. I love these different weapons. Again, the details on the weapons and everything. I do think these look super, super cool. And as you can see, they will go perfectly with the whole set, because here, for instance, you really have the whole set with the weapon as well. And I think it looks super, super badass. And then finally, after that, we also have these other shields. And so these are mechanical shields again that I think are pretty fun. And then I believe these are fist weapons. And so as you can see, you will have the fingers here. Probably you will be able to move the fingers and everything. And so these are the other weapons you will be able to get that are linked to this Tinker fantasy. But again, we're not sure exactly how you will be able to get all of them. I'm sure that some of them will also be available through some of the activities on the Siren Isle, but we'll have to wait to confirm that. Now let's talk about Plunderstorm. So with Plunderstorm returning, we have a lot of new items that will also be added into the game. And this time, as you can see, you will be able to buy them with this new currency called Plunder. And so you have all the prices right here. So some of the main important items that I want to mention are of course the new sets. So you have this time the black and purple version of the full pirate set, which I think is, in my opinion, the best one. And so this one is really, really, really cool. I love this set. So then next to that, you also have these different hats. So you have this one right here. You then also have this other one right here, which is just the eye patch. Then you have this one, which is a recorded version of the head from one of the rogue sets from, I believe, Antorus in Legion. And then you also have this one, which is very similar, I believe, was part of one of the sets for rogues. But nonetheless, these now will be available for all the different classes, and these are cosmetic items. Then we also have a bunch of new weapons. So you have, for instance, here this new gun. Then you have this new staff. You also have a new sword. And basically all the other weapons that were available previously during the previous Plunderstorm events. And then next to that, you have like a few battle pets and of course like some of the mounts. And I really want to insist on the fact that all the previous items from last season of the Plunderstorm event will also be returning. So for instance, if you missed any of them, you will be able to buy all of them with this new currency, the Plunder. So at least, again, if you are missing anything from the event, be reassured you will be able to buy everything in patch 11.0.7. Then we're also getting a bunch of new war skirts and wraps transmogs. So as you can see, these will be all these different cosmetic items that most likely you will be able to get through the trading post, and they will be very, very cheap. So you have all these different skirts again and all these other ones. And I think personally they look very interesting, especially for instance here. I love the style. It looks like a gladiator. It looks like you're a Spartan. And I do really, really enjoy that. So then you have like for the female version. And again, each time, as you can see, it's the legs mainly that changes with also the size of the skirt. So I think these are super, super cool. And again, I'm sure many people will be able to do a lot of really cool transmogs with all of them. And as you can see, we have them for all the different colors. I'm not going to go through everything because there's a lot of them, but we really have them for all different colors. So personally, I think this is super, super cool. And I'm very excited again to see what people will be able to do, especially for instance with these ones right here that I think are amazing. Then we also have a bunch of random weapons that will be added into the game. So first we have some one-handed swords. We have the Arati training sword, which is a wooden sword. I think this one is pretty cute. And again, this is one hand. Then we have the Naga sword. So here again, this one I really feel reminds me of Battle for Azeroth. And also it's pretty low res. So I'm pretty sure it was an unused appearance and they're just adding it into the game now. Same with this one right here, the Naga blade. I do think actually that some mobs are using this one in Nashatar, so I'm pretty sure that these are just unused appearances that they're adding right now with patch 11.0.7. Then we also have these different maces right here. We have the vehicle one, which again I think looks very low res. So I'm pretty sure that these ones are things that were already in the game's files and they're just adding them now. I do like the blue one right here. I think it looks pretty interesting, even though again it's very low res. And finally, we have the Iron Mallet, which is just a normal little mace. Then after that, we have a bunch of new daggers. So we have the Arator Chisel. I think this one is, yeah, okay. It's going to be interesting for people who like to roleplay, perhaps. Then we have the Crystalline Ritual Blade. This one is pretty nice. I'm not sure if we have something similar in game, but if we don't, then this one is really cool. We also have the Naga Blade. Again, pretty sure it's from Najatar and it's nothing really special. We have the Crafter's Tool, another pretty good one if you are into role-playing. And finally, we have the Fetcher's Blade, which is very basic. Then after that, we don't have new fist weapons. We have these new two-handed axes. So we have the Mining Pick. We now have so many of them in the game, but still this is a new one. And then also the Lumberjack's Hatchet, and this one actually looks pretty cool. So again, these are two-handed axes. Then for the swords, we don't really have anything, and neither for the maces. For the staffs, we have the Naga Trident, which I think again is from Najatar. It looks pretty cool. The Naga Staff, again, pretty sure it's from BFA, and this one is pretty basic. And then we also have a Sailor's Mope. So this one is super fun. So you will basically be able to use that as your weapon. Sadly, right now, as you can see, I cannot put really enchant on it, but I do think that it looks really interesting. Then after that, we have the different polearms. So here we have the Naga Spike. So this one's pretty cool because even though again it's very low res, it's a very big one. And so if you are into this type of like big weapons, especially for instance if you want to add like some cool enchants on them, then that's going to be a really good weapon to have with you. And then as you can see, the Sailor's Mope is also a polearm, so you will be able to use it if you can use a polearm. And again, I really think this one is super fun. It's interesting because again, this is very low res, so it means that it was added probably already some time ago and they never used it, but now was the time, I guess. Still, it's a very interesting one. Then for the bows, we have the vehicle bow, which is a recorded version of another bow we're gonna get with the Wrath of the Lich King Time Walking event. You will be able to buy it with your Tamra badges. And this one is another one, which I think looks pretty interesting. And then we also have this one, the vehicle longbow, which again, I think is pretty cool. Then for the guns, we don't have really new ones here. Crossbows as well. And then in else in offhand and shields, we also don't really have anything new. But by digging around a little bit more in the database on Warhead, I was able to find even more weapons, including some very interesting ones. So first we have this Claymore right here, and this one is super interesting. I don't think we've ever had a weapon like that. So basically this is a two-handed sword and you have some fur on it. Again, it's pretty low res, so it might be from BFA or maybe even before, but I really like that sword. And so again, as you can see, this is something you will be able to use as a cosmetic item. Then next to that, we have this other one right here. And this one is also pretty interesting. So as you can see, this is another two-handed sword. And again, it's very low res. So it really is something that probably was there for quite some time. Not sure why they never decided to release these different weapons because they actually do look really nice. Then we also have this one right here, which is another one of these different warglaives, but this one I think is already in game. I'm not sure, but as you can see, it's part of the database so far. Then we also have this polearm right here. So as you can see, it looks like that. This is an interesting one. Again, very unique, and I'm sure some of you will find it cool. We also have some pretty cool shields. So again, we have this one, which is a shield that some of the mobs are using in Najatar, I'm pretty sure. And I think this one looks pretty cool overall. And then we also have this other one, the Bloodwake shield. And this time, this is something that will look like that. And then finally, we also have a few new tabards. So for instance, we have this one, which is a new tabard that has the same colors as the RIT colors in the War Within. And we also have, for instance, this other one. So it's just a few recolors of all the tabards we already have in game right now. And there's also, I believe, a few new shirts, such as, for instance, this one right here. This one is very interesting, I must say, with all the different tattoos and everything, even though, again, this is very low res and only painted on the body of the person, but still, I think this is a very interesting one. And finally, we also have this fist weapon right here, which is, again, inspired by the Naga. And this one looks a little bit weird. This is a crab claw, but again, this is something that you will be able to get in 11.0.7. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you think about all these different items. Again, if you want to also see all the new mounts you will be able to get in this patch, I would recommend you to go watch my other video on this topic. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime, I wish you a great day. Bye!